We reveal our Pokemon to our opponent like some sort of filthy pervert. Today we're playing Yorion D&T, but we're playing a green-white version. It's not the most optimal. I'm playing like one copy of Ramanov Excavator because I'm a fucking dork. We aren't here to play the most optimum list. We're here to have fun with cards that we love. We are playing green-white, namely to get dorks to accelerate our speed and to play Collected Company. Easy for me to say. So this is a slow play. This is going to be a slow play. I'm going to cut out all the downtime and stuff, but mainly it's going to be chilling, playing a bit of Magic. Yeah, we're playing Company. And in order to play Company, I'm playing around 40. I think it's 37 or 38 creatures that can hit a Company, along with 4 copies of Solitude, which is kind of wild. 50% of our deck is creatures that are 3 CMC or lower. Now the problem is we are playing 6 Mana Dorks, and Mana Dorks can be a problem as well because it means that the things you hit with Company are relatively low in power level and value. And speak of the devil, and they shall appear. There is Collected Company. So we're going to Horizon Canopy here into Noble Hierarch. Our opponent leaving Flooding Strand gives me faith that they're not some sort of super aggro deck, so actually pinging ourselves to death off of Horizon Canopy shouldn't hurt. If they now fetch a Steam Vents, then I was obviously lied to for the longest time. It's a Godless Shrine. Okay. I'm going to place a bet on Esper Reanimator, Esper Stoneblade, those sort of things. We're seeing combinations of those decks as well. Things using Grief and Ephemerate. Then there's your Reanimator decks that are using the Shallow Grave and the non-legendary like package to reanimate things like Archfiend of Cruelty, I want to say. And there's obviously Stoneforge decks as well. And you can see amalgamations and combinations of them as well. I've played the Grief version on the channel before and it felt very, very good. They are keeping mana up here. I wonder what is going to happen. Well, I'm going to try and cast Thalia, because Thalia is actually quite good against most of the decks I just named. Now, if she gets counterspelled or killed, that's not such a big problem because it means we can play Company on turn 3. I did ping myself there so we can get into a combat with our Noble Hierarch. They're going to crack their Delta here for an island, and they're going to Solitude Evoked, and they're going to be an Ephemerate in our future. This is brutal. I'm not really sure exactly how he beat that. They pitch Faithful Mending to this. So I mentioned the Grief Ephemerate combo. We're now getting Solitude Ephemerate. I say combo, it's more of a synergy. So we're going to see an Ephemerate here. It's going to move Thalia. Yeah, this is something I was considering playing today, by the way, was some sort of Solitude Ephemerate package in a D&T deck. I think I would just drop Yorion wholesale at that point. We lose the Hierarch too. Fucking hell. That is backbreaking. I don't think we come back from that. They get to remove 2 bodies and keep a 3/2. I guess our Company can get us back into it. If I'm a little bit less melodramatic, our Company can get us back into this. They did spend 3 cards to do that. So it is kind of like a 3 for 2, kind of. The Ephemerate didn't get any extra value, didn't have anything on board afterwards, and they only have 3 cards left in hand. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's not so bad. The 3-2 gets to the red zone, we go to 17, they go to 21. We're going to play a Branchloft Pathway, and we're going to play Skyclave Cleric here as well, just to gain a bit of life back and have a body. Now, this guy is in here for a few reasons. So we were going to play 4 Emiria's Call, which is the spell land, that's also the Bolt land in white. But I was trying to maximise the efficiency of Collected Company so that even in the worst case scenario, we can still hit a Cleric, gain some life, have a body, so on. We've got Gavin Township in the deck as well. And originally I was going to play Shalai, but decided not. Teferi Time Raveler countering or bouncing our Skyclave Cleric is fine. So we're playing this as a body that Company can hit that's also a land. That's the reason. How efficient that is and how good that is, I am unsure of. They're taking up Teferi Time Raveler. We're going to have to Company in our turn frustratingly. We untap and we draw a Birds of Paradise, not where we want to be. But at least it's not going to be in our Company, right? At least it's not going to be in our Company. We're going to Collected Company now, and we hit Stoneforge Mystic and Leonin Arbiter, which aren't terrible. Oh, how I say that. Oh, fuck. This is the most brutal evidence that we shouldn't be playing these cards in combination. Because Arbiter means that Stoneforge can't go searching. I guess I've got to say only Stoneforge. Oh, that is fucking brutal. Okay, I wonder how often that comes up mathematically. Playing 4 Stoneforge, 4 Leonin Arbiter, an 80 card deck, 4 copies of Collected Company. How often is that going to be a thing? We're going to go get a Batterskull here, because we can cast it next turn. And they can bounce our Stoneforge Mystic in an attempt to slow down what we're up to. Which is a term that Teferi loves, doesn't he? Let's slow it down. I've heard him say that on Arena a few times. Yeah, they're going to bounce our Stoneforge Mystic back to hand, which isn't terrible because it means we get another equipment out of her. Though they might have like counter magic up. This might not be a reanimated deck at all. It might be this ephemerate. Yeah, so there's a Mole Drifter plus ephemerate, which is gas. Oh god, I want to play this deck. Oh, they had no ephemerate to go with the Mole Drifter. It just went the way of the dodo. Because dodos get evoked. That's what they famously did. That's why they're extinct. And then they drew 2 cards. They have 4 cards in hand. We get hit with Soldier. They go 12. They go 27. They have mana up for something. So I'm going to play an Horizon Canopy. I'm going to play a Stoneforge Mystic. I'm going to go and get a Sword of Fire and Ice. They're going to path. They're going to ephemerate my Solitude with that on the stack. Okay. That's a shame, because I was going to Wisp my Stoneforge, but now I guess I'm not going to do that. Fuck. They kept their ephemerate instead of doing it on the Mole Drift. That's interesting. Oh, they got rid of the Skyclave Cleric instead? Was that a misclick? I mean, I'll take it. You're absolutely brutalizing me over here, so I'll take it. No oops from the opponent. Okay. Let's say... Oh, I guess that saves Teferi. That was not a misclick. That was to save Teferi. We're going to say yes, and we're going to go and get a Sword of Fire and Ice. And then we're going to take a lot of damage, because I am no coward. And we're going to play a Flicker Wisp, which is going to reset our Stoneforge Mystic and gets us Caldra. And then we just have a handful of equipment we can't really utilise very well. So that's nice. That's nice. Stoneforge leaves the battlefield. End of turn, comes back. I'm happy to trade this Wisp for the Solitude, honestly. Because this equipment will take over the game eventually. Although we are approximately 1,000,000 miles, and by 1,000,000 miles I mean 2 mana away from the Caldra complete. Obviously they can kill the Stoneforge Mystic here with the Ephemerated Solitude, but then we still have the ability just to slam a Batterskull or slam Fire and Ice and equip. So Stoneforge Mystic is dead. There is an argument to just playing Stoneforge Mystic, Sword of Fire and Ice equipment, Flicker Wisp attacking and killing the Solitude next turn with the trigger. The problem being if they have counter magic, and I don't know if this deck is playing counter magic. No attacks. Okay, so they don't want us to trade off. We drew another land, a Horizon Canopy, so we're going to play it. Now, I kind of want to just attack the Teferi here and see what they do, and if we kill the Teferi, all good. Play the Batterskull and the bird. So I think that's where we're at. Because they want to use Ephemerate or Path or something to make things inefficient. They're going to crack a Flooded Strand here, so that maybe they've got just an actual factual 5-mana Solitude. They do indeedies. Oh no, they're going to Unburial Void some Mole Drifter at instant speed thanks to Teferi, and then trade with our Flicker Wisp whilst drawing 2 cards. That's insanely good. Holy fuck. Okay, that's some real gas. Let's play a Birds of Paradise. Let's play a Batterskull. So equipping Sword of Fire and Ice would have actually been good there, but what can you do? Now, they've drawn so many cards, there's a good chance they have an answer for the Germ or the Batterskull. I'm hoping they don't, honestly. I'm hoping I can just get to, like, untap with one of my toys. Our opponents having so much fucking gas is frustrating. Unmarked Grave. So they are also the Reanimator package alongside this Ephemerate package. I was right in my first belief. There's the Archon of Cruelty. Oh, fucking hell. This makes us Voltroning up the Phyrexian Germ. Not very good. We now sack a bird. Discard... Caldra complete, I guess? This just feels awful. This just feels awful all round, honestly. We lose 3 on the attack or ETB. They have Ephemerate as well. Are we just absolutely fucked? No Ephemerate, okay. We drew a Stoneforge Mystic, which gives us another body to protect against the incoming Archon of Cruelty trigger. But that doesn't really do anything. We're just dead. We're just dead. Like, we can block the Solitude, they attack in the air, we die. We play the Sword of Fire and Ice, equip it, attack, they block. Well, they won't block, will they? Will they? No. They will, because they don't want to draw a card. Then we die as well. We're going to have to play it and try and equip it. We go so low here, though, it's unreal. These Horizon Canopies are truly fucking kicking the shit out of us. They just evoke a Solitude. Fucking hell. All gas, no breaks. Meanwhile, we just... What the fuck did we do? We played a reasonable collection of magic cards and did nothing, whilst our opponent literally defecated in our mouths. So we're on the play this time. Let's reveal this fucking Yorion. We never use. God, I hate Yorion. I don't know why I keep trying to play it. Okay, this hand seems pretty reasonable. We have Cyborg Tech against the Reanimation package and against, well, the Veneration package in general, really. Path to deal with the creatures of Toronto Ephemerate, Thalia, and Stoneforge. This seems good. This seems like it should be good. Again, we are going to ping ourselves to shit, and we can't... Oh, fuck. We can't actually cast Sanctify and Vec. I think at this point where I'm trying to figure out whether I want to play green-white or normal, green-white or mono-white, I think we want to be on mono-white because green-white's mana base has never really been much of a problem. It had a better mana base instead of black-white versions of this deck back in the past when they were playing a lot of Eldrazi. But now that you want to consistently cast something like Sanctifier and Vec, it's not as hot. It's not as hot as it used to be. That's pretty good. That allows us to play a Thalia, but they can still evoke plus Ephemerate. I think I passed the turn here. We could play a Thalia. If we play a Thalia, it does get stuff out of their hand if they want to try and get rid of it. Let's play Thalia. They crack their Strand here. And they're going to get a shock land and not shock it. There we go. They didn't shock in this Watery Grave, which is pretty decent. So we're going to play the Raise of Urge. They get play a Noble Hierarch. We're going to keep Path to Exile up if they try and Path to Exile all our bodies. And then we're just going to slam with Thalia for 3. Here comes the Evoked Solitude. So they hit our Thalia with the Evoked Solitude. They're going to go for an Ephemerate. And then we're going to Path the Solitude in response. We'll give them a land here, but we'll keep our Noble Hierarch and we'll stop them from having both a 3/2 body on board and an Ephemerate to kill another body next turn. So we get quite a bit out of this. On our turn, we're just going to go wild and slam everything here. Stoneforge Mystic. This will grab us some sort of equipment. Imagine if they had a second Ephemerate in their hand last turn. That would have been brutal. We're going to grab, I guess, sort of Fire and Ice because we need some resources here. We're going to play Aether Vial. And then to really just, it'll turn off like Shallow Grave and Burial Rites and stuff. We're just going to slam Sanctifier and Vec. Now the thing is, against a lot of decks, Sanctifier and Vec then can't be killed. Because a lot of decks that you bring her in against, like Dredge and stuff, the way they kill it is with red and black removal or black creature bodies and stuff. So they just can't get rid of it. In this matchup, where there's Solitudes and potentially Path to Exiles in the sideboard, and Teferi to bounce it, she's not as protected as she would be in some matchups. They shock a Watery Grave, which tells me there is a Solitude in our future. Now, they could Shallow Grave here for like a Mole Drifter or something, or they can just evoke a Mole Drifter. Here's a Mole Drifter. I hope they don't have an Ephemerate here. Them drawing 4 cards would be pretty gross. Of course they've got it. Of course they fucking have. Draw 4 cards. Sure. Keep your 2/2. Fucking hell. At least we get to put a sort of Fire Ice into play like Crippets. That's kind of like a desperation thing, but they do have a handful of 6 cards. Jesus Christ alive. Okay, so let's untap and hope to God they haven't got a Fatal Push. I guess what that means is that we have to put the sword on the Sanctifier and Vec, which then makes it unkillable outside of Solitude, I guess. We drew a Human Druid. We're going to go ahead and make a Sword of Fire and Ice. We're then going to equip the Sword of Fire and Ice. And then we're going to make a Noble Hierarch for green. Now we've got quite a good threat here, as long as they don't have a... well, they're drawing 4 cards last turn, so there's a good chance they do have the Solitude. But we hit them for 6. We kill their Mole Drifter here, because it means that they can't, like, Ephemerate next turn. The Ephemerate goes to waste, unless they evoke the Solitude in our upkeep. We drew a Tectonic Edge, which is pretty good for getting rid of, like, Solitudes and stuff, or the mana for them to be a Solitude. But unfortunately, we don't have the mana to do that. Maybe we should play the Vial post-combat for that reason. And that way we could have tech-edged them instead of playing the Vial. But hopefully that won't come back to bite us in the shitter. Marsh Flats from our opponent. With a card drawn this turn, they still have 6 in hand. Unmarked Grave. Okay, so they're putting something into the bin. Which means they've got Unburial Rites in hand, I imagine. Or they're going to put Unburial Rites into the bin for the 4 mana here. So we get exiled by our Sanctifier and Vec. And they put Sarah's Emissary into the graveyard. Oh, come on. Don't have a reanimation spell for that. Oh, my fucking God. Okay, so we did bring in our Path to Exiles. So we do have something that deals with this. Wisp doesn't. And we can't block it either, so we're dead in 3 turns. We drew another Sanctifier and Vec, which would have been reasonable if it was not the white fucking... Oh my God. Okay, let's Tectonic Edge them. In response, they're cracking their Marsh Flats, so they have yet more things to do. The amount of fucking card draw our opponent has had in this like mid-range pseudo-combo deck means that they've had so many toys to play with while we've been doing fucking, like... It looks strong, right? It looks like we should be in a good position, but I guess... Yeah, a lock piece. We need to draw path and exactly path. Path is our only option here. Okay, so now we're going to crack this Horizon Canopy. Drew another Horizon Canopy. Play the Horizon Canopy. Crack the Horizon Canopy. Draw a Charming Prince. Okay, that's not the worst. We're now going to use Charming Prince. Don't know why I'm casting it. I could have Aether Vialed at him. We're going to scry 3. Or scry 2, sorry. We gain 3 or scry 2. And we find neither of the things we need. So bottom of our library or bottom of our library. Thanks to those Horizon Canopies plus Charming Prince, we saw 4 different cards on top of our library there. And then 5 including the draw step. But that said, 5 isn't that many when you're playing an 80 card deck. And we only started in 2 copies of Path to Exile. So they evoke a Muldrifter. They did not ephemerate is, they just draw 2 cards up to 5 cards in hand. They get in for 6. We have 3 turns remaining. If we flicker our Charming Prince, we gain another turn. So a Wisp isn't the worst, but I'd rather just have a Path to Exile, honestly. I guess it isn't just Path to Exile Solitude, but I trimmed one when we cut some Skyclave Clerics. So we've got 3 Solitude and 2 Path to Exile that we're digging for. Oh shit, no, Solitude is a creature. Solitude is not an option. Okay, let's play this tapped. Play the Sanctifying Vex. I forgot to Violin last turn because I was too busy thinking about Solitudes. Now for those wondering why I'm not attacking with this Sanctifying Vex, because it can't do combat damage. They have protection from creatures. They have it and so does the creature. I guess Sarah's Emissary is one of the few things, or one of the corner cases in the format now where like cutting down on Path to Exile is both main and sideboard because you've got access to Solitude and Skyclave Apparition. This is kind of proof that that doesn't always work. I guess there's an argument that we can disrupt them before they get it off, but it's only like a 2-card 4-mana combo to get it off, so it's not exactly impossible to do or that easy to disrupt. Even through Athalia, they can turn 3 there. They cast a Muldrifter and we need to untap and draw exactly Path to Exile here. There's nothing else that gets us out of this. No, that's that then. GG. Right, let's try again. Hopefully we don't have to face an angel that our deck simply cannot deal with. Our opponent's on Lurrus, Boggles. This could be some variant of Burn. It could well be Jund, I think is the most popular Lurrus variant at the moment. We're going to keep this hand. We have Vial, we have Arbiter, and we have 3 drops. It's pretty good. We even have a 3rd land if we want to not keep Skyclave as a shit 2-drop. We did not win the die roll though. So let's see what our opponent leads with Bloodstained. I'm assuming this is going to be Jund. I thought he's taking our Vial here would be a bit sad. Mountain into Shadow Spear. I'm thinking some form of affinity then, and this is... Wow, why would you play Bloodstained Mire on affinity? Weird. I don't know what to think of this. I played a few games with this deck this morning, only a few of them on camera, and I've not yet evoked a Solitude after like 4 or 5 games. I think the problem is Yorion. Like, playing an 80-card deck means you don't have Vial in your opening hand very often. You don't have the Dork in your opening hand as often. You've got to play more of them. We're playing 6 Dorks and 4 Vials to give us enough turn 1 plays to regularly play them. So you just don't see Solitude or Vial as much as perhaps you'd want to. I'm still not convinced that... I forget this card even. Fuck, I'm still legal and modern. I'm still not convinced that 80 card is the way to go, you know? Okay, that's a red and 6. It doesn't do a whole lot to our hand, honestly. Knight of Autumn dies to it, I guess, but then we trade with the Shadow Spear, so that's something. You're playing Arbiter. We know they got 1 fetch land in hand thanks to the Ren and 6. I'm assuming they're going to have some removal for this Arbiter here. Does Jund play Shadow Spear? Is that what this is? It's just Jund with Shadow Spear? Unholy Heat. Cool. So that's my Arbiter dead. When I played this deck a few weeks ago on stream and in some videos and stuff, it felt pretty good. I was not playing the Yorion version, to be honest. And today it's felt terrible. Like, it's just... I'm not doing anything. Our opponent's just, like, spent 1 mana to kill my thing. And what's this? A Tarmogoyf. Okay, I mean, this is some old school shit, in all fairness. But, yeah, it doesn't feel good. I guess Skyclave can take the Ren and 6 away. We can deal with the Goyf a little bit later. I don't really want to evoke Solitude to get rid of it right now. I guess 2 of the cards we have drawn this game are these Skyclave Clerics, and I just don't think they're working how I want them to. Like, they're terrible to draw. They're pretty middling to get company into, and then as a land, they're also, when you draw them, pretty bad. That is a Goyf carrying a Shadow Spear. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, I can take 5 here, I think. I don't think I want to waste my resources yet. I want to play them efficiently. That's what my Vial will allow me to do. Ren and 6 is on 6 loyalty here. We're not going to flash in the Skyclave Cleric, because we're going to hold it for the Solitude. We are going to tick up our Vial, though. Wisp is pretty good here. So we get to take the Ren and 6, and then we get to Wisp and take the Tarmogoyf as well. That's pretty decent. Let's Skyclave Apparition taking the Ren and 6. I'm going to hold off on Wisping, I think. Because we might just want to Knight of Autumn the Shadow Spear instead. And they could have removal here, whether that be Assassin's Trophy or Abrupt Decay. Or just they could have another Unholy Heat. They didn't kill us in the end step there, so I don't think they've got anything. They go attacking. So I'm going to evoke a Solitude, ditching Skyclave Cleric. So we'll get rid of the Tarmogoyf. And then we're going to Wisp the Solitude. Just so we get to keep Solitude around. Now, this might prompt them to do something. No. They're going to wait. They're going to wait. This also means they can't second main phase a creature either. They're just going to bolt the Solitude before the Wisp resolves. That's more than reasonable. So they're going to gain 5 life here, going to 22. They play another Tarmogoyf. They play another Ren and 6, which just kills my Wisp. We drew another Skyclave Apparition, which is a pretty good draw here. I guess taking out the Tarmogoyf is more important than taking out the Ren and 6. We can kill the Ren and 6 in combat. So we take the Tarmogoyf again, attack the Ren and 6. Now those are... I was thinking about vialing in the Skyclave there and then playing the sword. But I like to keep the Knight of Autumn in the Pokeball here. And I don't know why. I feel more comfortable doing things at instant speed and having some sort of reaction. But I don't know how much value I'm going to get out of a Destroy an Artifact effect by killing the Shadow Spear or whatever. The third Tarmogoyf. They've still got Lurrus in their command zone as well, haven't they? Lurrus goes into hand. Okay. We're going to put our Yorion in our hand as well, I think. Skyclave enters the battlefield and destroys the Shadow Spear. They can play Lurrus and a Ren and 6 next turn, which is... So we drew Caldra complete. Okay, we're going to start ticking up our vial after this to get this Yorion out. We'll put Yorion into our hand. No attacks into the 5/6 Tarmogoyf, surprisingly. They're going to go Lurrus, play Knight of Autumn, and then they'll shoot... Sorry, Lurrus, play Ren and 6, shoot our Knight, I guess. They could just replay a Mishra's Bauble for a card draw as well. Or maybe Shadow Spear is vital to what they want to do. There's Lurrus. They do replay a Bauble instead of a Ren and 6. I'll take it for a turn. Maybe we draw a Wisp, which allows us to reset the Knight or something. They draw a fuck ton of cards because of the 2 Baubles they cracked, and we're going to tick up our vial. We drew a Ramanap Excavator, which we can cast if we Ghost Quarter ourselves. So I think we do that. We can then play the Ghost Quarter from our bin. So we're back to where we were, kinda. And then we're going to get into combat with the Knight of Autumn, because it'll die to the Ren and 6 anyway. If they want to trade that with their Lurrus, we'd be more than happy to do so. They have a Colligan's Command to destroy our Vial and kill our Apparition, so I guess we're going to concede. So another problem that I'm finding playing a few of these cards at the moment is that Sanctifying Vec, whilst absolutely ludicrous against certain decks like Dredge and shit like that, like right now with the Lurrus on the other side of the board and the Ren and 6 and the Goyf, I kind of just want... I want someone to really nuke their graveyard, and we just don't have it. We don't have Rest in Peace, and we don't have Relic Progenitus, the normal slot to go there, and Scoos as well. Probably to a greater extent with Relic, but less than... Like, Sanctifying Vec will keep the Goyfs a bit smaller, but it won't stop the lands coming back for the Ren and 6 and such. It just doesn't feel very good. We're on the play now into Lurrus Jund with Yorion, Green, White, D&T, with a couple of singleton cards we probably shouldn't be playing. This hand's pretty good. Let's keep this. We've got lots of interaction. I say pretty good. It's got a Skyclave Cleric in it, which isn't great. But the less said about that, the better. Let's shock ourselves with this Temple Garden, because it'll do less damage overall than this Aether Vial. Other than these Horizon Canopies, sorry. Ragavan on turn 1. We need to deal with that. We got Prismatic Ending to untap and deal with it, to be fair. So we exile Ragavan with Prismatic Ending, play a Canopy and pass the turn. Inquisition of Kozilek coming at us here, so we're going to lose our Sanctifier and Vec. We draw a Noble Hierarch. If they K-Command us next turn to kill Hierarch plus Vial, we're in such a shit spot. K-Command was always a card that really bummed me out when it got printed for this archetype in particular. A clean answer for Jund to be able to kill both a Blade Splicer and its Golem token really, really bugs me. This is a Ren and 6 that will kill our Noble Hierarch. I am going to draw a card here. So now we can make the Skyclave to be able to threaten and pressure the Ren and 6 a little bit. I think that's the... This is not good. Here we go. This is why I shouldn't be playing this card. This is why you play cards. Is to learn about them, get a feel for them. So it's not all is lost, right? Not all is lost. We drew a Noble Hierarch, which allows us to actually kill the Ren and 6 here if they haven't got an Unholy Heat for the Hierarch before we go to combat. And they didn't, so we get to get in for 2 and kill the Ren and 6. That's clean. That's clean. We're also one land... Oh, do they have a way to kill Oh, they have Bolt. They just have Bolt before the Exalted trigger resolves. This is not good. Oh, come on. Come the fuck on. Oh. We needed them to have Unholy Heat because it was only 2 damage and it couldn't kill it. They would have killed the Nobles. But now, instead of having an Unholy Heat killing the Noble, us hitting Ren 6 for 1 and them still having a Ren 6, we just get completely blown. Because now, the Ren 6 untaps and they get to fucking kill the Noble high. Come the fuck on. Am I not catching a break? Or are the... I mean, I did just attack with the Skyclave Clerics, so I can't complain too much. But, like, are the cards that I'm playing just that fucking bad? Apart from Skyclave Cleric. I'm fully aware. Oh my. I guess the problem is that I'm trying to play a lot of cards that weren't printed in Modern Horizons 2. And everyone else isn't really doing that right now, right? Everyone is just... Are you fucking for real? Look at this. How am I meant to beat this with my deck? There's just no way. Not great. I should have played that as a white source, by the way. I just played it as a green source because I was too busy tilting. I don't know where I'm at. I think... I should have put Yorion in my hand, by the way. I was too tilted to do that too. So yeah, if you're not playing tight as well, then you're not going to win with worse cards than what's in the current metagame, I guess. And this deck isn't feeling memey enough to really fill me with love. I love the cards in this deck, but I just don't think it's even remotely powerful enough to play into this stuff now. Jund was never a good matchup, historically, for this deck. I'd never, unless you're playing like Loxodon Smiters and stuff against like old school Jund. But now we're in a situation where Jund has Loris and Ren 6 and Urza's Saga, and whilst we have Skyclave Apparition, which actually plays quite well into 2 of those 3 things, and I guess Stoneforge Mystic too, so maybe there are draws where I don't get completely fucking stomped by Jund. This doesn't feel like one of them though. They're going to make a body off this, then go find Shadow Spear, and then we've got to deal with a body plus Shadow Spear that was all spawned by 1 land. Yeah, we're going to Field of Ruin this Saga. They're going to make the mana, make the body, grab planes. Well, they're going to Prismatic Vista. Prismatic Ending, sorry, the Ren 6. There's an argument for the toe. And I guess, yeah, maybe we've got some toys. Prismatic Ending is pretty good against everything. Oh, where is Magic at right now? Where is Magic? I've had some fun playing Modern recently. Just not with this deck, unfortunately. Not this version of this. They draw another Ren 6, which, whilst it's frustrating that they've just consistently drawn them so well, it doesn't really matter too much. Ren 6 ain't doing... Oh, no, it does matter. Because of Urza's Saga. Yeah. I'm going a bit full tilt here. I need to play a different deck. They put Loris into their hand. We should have a Yorion in our hand, but I didn't, did I? We don't draw 5th lands, we can't play Solitude, so we're going to play this Noble Heart. They're going to Ren 6 it. I think I'm going to call it there, my friends. I'm going to upload this anyway. Because I think it's good sometimes just to be honest. Yeah, I've been trying to play variants of 80 card, green-white, since Yorion came about. And I never, ever have any success with it. Now, I do know I play some stupid fucking cards in the AT. But I get so unbelievably stomped. And it's got worse. It's only got worse as time has gone on since Yorion was printed. And I think that's because we're just not playing as strong cards. I think if we're going to try and compete with this archetype against Urza's Sagas and Ren 6s and shit, and just I'm obviously just pointing out what's across the table, but the format in general, right? Hammer Time and whatever version of Tron is floating around right now and Dredge and shit. We really need to play a tighter, cleaner, leaner version. And that is not what the results show. There are people out there smashing 5-0s out with Yorion. The mono white version, granted. But I just don't understand it. I just don't understand how not drawing your Thalias, your Aether Vials, your Solitudes, your Skyclave Apparitions, or your Stoneforge Mystics more consistently is not the right way to do it. Anyway, I've been Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet. Here's a short video today, a little ditty. There'll be more gameplay, more talking heads, more discussions, and more Magic and Warhammer stuff all out throughout the week. Thanks for watching. Smash that bell, smash that like button, and I'll see you all soon. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. And ta-ta for now.